Hello everyone, my name is Salam. I'm with the Secret Training Institute and I'm going to be your English teacher. Today our lesson is going to be about tense. First we're going to describe and introduce what tense is, and then we're going to see the different kind of tenses, and today's lesson is going to be specifically about the simple present tense, and then we're going to recap the session by doing some practice exercises. So to begin, let's see what tense is. As you can see on the slide, a tense is a branch of grammar that expresses time reference. It defines the change in form of a verb. ስለዚህ እዚህ ላይ እንደምታዩት tense and action የሚደረግበትን time past, present, future ብሎ በverb form in form of action express ያደርግልናል ማለት ነው. So types of tenses are three. The first one is a past tense, the second is a present, and the next is a future tense. We're going to see each of these in detail now. So let's start with the past tense. The past tense, as the name describes, it is talking about something that has happened in the past. ያለፈ ነገር ነው የሚገልጽልን ማለት ነው. Already አልፏል, ጊዜው in the past ነው. The present tense, as you can see from the name, it's something that is happening right now. አሁን happen እያደረገ ያለ ነገር ነው. The last one ደግሞ it's a future tense, something that's going to happen in the future. ገና happen የሚያደርግ ነገር ነው. ስለዚህ ሶስቱም ታይም ፍሬሞች past, present and future በአክሽን verb ሲገለጹ የቴንስ ጥቅም እዚህ ላይ ይመጣል ማለት ነው. So, as I told you at the introduction, today's lesson is going to be focused on the present tense. So, there are four types of present tenses. We're going to define each of them first, and then we're going to dive into our lesson specifically on the simple present tense. The first one is the simple present tense. It's used to express daily tasks or facts. So the simple present tense express የሚያደርግልን በየቀኑ የምናደርጋቸው ዴይሊ የሆኑ ስራዎችን ወይ ደግሞ ፋክት እውነታ የሆነ ነገር ነው ማለት ነው። ስለዚህ present tense ላይ ስንመጣ አክሽኑ አሁን እየተደረገ ቢሆንም ግን በተለያየ ፎርም ኤክስፕረስ እናደርገዋለን ወይም እንገልጸዋለን። ስለዚህ የሚገለጹበትን መንገዶች እያንዳንዱ የቴንስ ታይፕ ይነግረናል ማለት ነው። ሁለተኛው ደግሞ it's the present continuous tense. The present continuous tense, it describes activities that are happening at the moment of speaking. በምናወራበት ሰዓት exactly at the moment of speaking happen የሚያደርጉትን ነገሮች ደግሞ የሚገልጽልን the present continuous tense ይባላል. The next one is the present perfect tense. As you can see from the name, it's a combination. It's a combination of something that's happening in the present, but that also have perfect futures in it. So, present perfect tense ላይ express የምናደርገው ነገር in the present happen ቢያደርግም ግን in the past start ያደረገ ነው እና still in the present ደግሞ አክሽኑ finished አይደለም አላለቀም ማለት ነው። ስለዚህ we're going to use the present perfect tense in this situations. The last one is the present perfect continuous tense. This tense is used, as you can see from the name, it has present perfect futures in it and also continuous. So that means አክሽኑ happen ያደረገው ወይም የተፈጠረው in the past ነው. In the present አላለቀ, but it is still continuing. It's a continuous action. It has a continuing feature. ስለዚህ እንደዚህ አይነት አክሽኖች የምንጠቀመው tense ወይም verb is going to be the present perfect continuous tense. So, we have said enough as an introduction on tenses, on the types of tenses, and on present tenses. So today's lesson is going to be focused on the simple present tense, which we are going to start right now. The simple present tense is used to express things that are happening or happen daily. As we saw earlier at the introduction, simple present tense ላይ happen የሚያደርጉት ነገሮች የሚያደርጉት በየቀኑ ነው. daily, as a daily routine, በየቀኑ happen የሚያደርጉ ነገሮችን simple present tense እንጠቀማለን. Let's start with an example. The example says, I always brush my teeth. As you can see, the word brush is made bold. That's because it's the verb. Brush, simple present tense and express የሚያደርገው verb ስለሆነ bold አድርገናል. But what does it mean? I always brush my teeth. Definition ላይ ያየነው simple present tense የምንጠቀመው daily happen ሊያደርጉ የሚችሉ ነገሮችን ነው ብለናል። ስለዚህ I always brush my teeth ስል አሁን brush እያደረኩ ነው ማለት ግን አይደለም. It's something that's happening daily. በየቀኑ ስለማደርገው የምጠቀመው simple present tense ነው. ያ ማለት ግን አሁን ጥርሴን እየቦረሽኩ ነው ማለት አይደለም. It's saying that I daily do it. I brush my teeth every single day, but I'm not doing it right now. So that's why I use the simple present tense. Let's take a look at the second example. She always goes to school. እዚህ ጋር verb go ነው። es ግን ተጨምሮበታል. We're going to see why in a few moments. She always goes to school. What does this mean? Is she going to school now? No, it doesn't mean that. She does it every single day at a specific time, but she's not doing it right now. አሁን እየሄደች ነው ማለት አይደለም። በየቀኑ ግን ወደ ትምህርት ቤት ትሄዳለች ማለት ነው። ስለዚህ we use the simple present tense for things happening every single day, ግን አሁን exactly happen እያደረገ ነው ማለት አይደለም። Now let's look at the formation. There are three forms: the positive, the negative, and the question or the interrogative form. The positive form ምንድን ነው? It has subject, it has verb, and then it has object. The subject is the one doing the action. የድርጊቱ አድራጊ ማለት ነው። And then the verb continues. አክሽኑ ወይም ቴንሱ ኤክስፕረስ የሚደረገው ቨርብን ዩዝ በማድረግ ነው። And then there's the object. የአክሽኑ ተቀባይ ወይም ድርጊት የሚደረግበት ማለት ነው። ስለዚህ ፖዚቲቭ ሴንቴንስ እንጠቀም ግን ቨርቡ ላይ እንደምታዩት it says verb 1 s or es ይኖረዋል። What does that mean? ኤግዛምፕሉ ላይ ተመልሰን እንየው። I always brush my teeth, right? So ሳብጀክቱ I ስለሆነ የምጠቀመው verb 1 ብቻ ነው። s ወይም es ያልጨመርኩ። ስለዚህ ሳብጀክቱ I, they, we and you ሲሆን ቨርቡ ላይ ምንም ነገር አልጨመረም። We don't add s or es. ቨርቡን ብቻ ነው የምንጠቀመው። So I would always say I always brush my teeth. But ሳብጀክቱ ከተቀየረ she, he or it ቢሆን we would change the verb. It becomes she always brushes her teeth. I would add es because the subject is he, she or it. So when the subject changes, the verb also changes. You would add s or es. Let's look at the second example. She always goes to school. She ስለሆነ የተጠቀምነው go ላይ እንደምታዩት es አለው። ግን they ቢሆን ኖሮ goes የሚለው es ይጠፋና go ብቻ ይሆናል። They always go to school. ስለዚህ የሲምፕል ፕሬዘንት ቴንስ ፎርሙ ፖዚቲቭ ሲሆን ሰብጀክቱ ይለያያል። ሲንጉላር ወይም ፕሉራል ሊሆን ይችላል። ቨርቡን ስንጠቀም ግን es ወይም s የምንጨምረው he, she ወይም it ሲሆን ነው። እነሱ ኤግዚስት የማያደርጉ ከሆነ ቨርቡን ብቻ ነው የምንጽፈው። and then there's the object ማለት ነው። ኔጌቲቭ ሲሆን ሰብጀክት አለ and then as you can see helping verb አለው። ሲምፕል ፕሬዘንት ቴንስ ላይ don't or doesn't የሚባል helping verb አለው። እዚህ ጋርም ልዩነት አለው። There are differences to what we would use. Don't የምንጠቀመው when the subject is they, you, I and we. እነዚህ አራት ሳብጀክቶች ላይ we use the helping verb don't. doesn't የምንጠቀመው ደግሞ he, she, it ሲሆን ነው። ከዛ verb 1 continues and then the object. When it's a question, we begin with the helping verb. የሚጀምረው ሁሌ በhelping verb ነው። That means do or does comes first, and then the subject, and then the verb, and then the object. That's how it's different. Okay, let's look over it with the examples above. Let's make them into negative sentences. For example, the second example, sorry. She always goes to school. When we make this sentence into its negative form, we would say she doesn't always go to school. እዚህ ጋር ግን as you can see verb 1 ብቻ ነው የምንጠቀመው። ኔጌቲቭ ሲሆን we have already used a helping verb doesn't የሚል ስለዚህ s አውቶማቲክሊ ይጠፋል። goes የነበረው go ይሆናል ማለት ነው። she doesn't always go to school. She doesn't always go to school. questionም ሲሆን the same thing. Does she go to school? That's how we would say. Does she go to school? s ይጠፋል ማለት ነው። We're going to see this. So, let's take a look at the verb formation. First, there are words that use es and there are words that use only es. Most verbs, you would just have to add s when you're using the subjects he, she, or it. You say think and then thinks. Walk, walks. You would just have to add s, a simple s. But there are some verbs you would have to add es when you're using a singular verb like he, she, or it. So let's take a look at those verb formations that would add es in order to use when you're using the subjects he, she, or it. The first one is verbs ending with ch. For example, watch. You would say watches. You add es because it ends with ch. The second one, verbs ending with y. Study. You change the y into I and then you add es. The third one, verbs ending with sh. For example, wish. Wish, wishes. You add es. Verbs ending with ss. For example, guess. You would add es, guesses. Verbs ending with x. Mix, mixes. Verbs ending with z. Buzz, buzzes. And the one we just saw in the previous example, verbs ending with o. Go, goes. So it's good to have these rules in mind when you want to use some verbs with he, she, or it, because you would need to add es or s, and you have to know የትኛውን መጨመር እንዳለባችሁ s ወይም es መጨመር እንዳለበት የምታውቁት እነዚህን verb formations በደንብ ስታውቁ ነው። so verbu የሚያልቅበትን የword formation አይታችሁ you can add s or es. You can use this rule. So now let's use a simple example. እስካሁን ያለውን ነገር clarify ለማድረግ and ይሄንን box ተጠቅመን እስቲ እንየው። The affirmative form. ለምሳሌ I ሲሆን I think is the affirmative form. I think is the affirmative form. When you change it to interrogative form or when you want to make it into a question, I የሚጠቀመው helping verb do ነው። ስለዚህ interrogative ሲሆን ሁሌ helping verb መጀመሪያ ይመጣል and then subject ይከተላል and then verb። ስለዚህ የምንጠቀመው helping verb do ይሆናል ማለት ነው። Do, the subject, I think, which is the verb. Negative እናርገው። helping verb አሁንም አንድ አይነት ነው የሚሆነው ግን not እንጨምርበታለን። So I do not think ይሆናል ማለት ነው። You ሲሆንም is basically the same. You think, do you think when it's a question, and then when it's negative, you do not think. The next one, he thinks. እዚህ ጋር ልዩነቱ ምንድነው? s አለው, right? he ብሎ thinks ነው የሚለው። So እዚህ ጋር he, she and it ሲሆን የምንጠቀመው ቅድም እንዳየነው the helping verb it's does. So you would say does he think? When you want to make it into a negative, he does not think. So does ከመጨመራችን ውጪ ሌላ አዲስ የሚሆነው እዚህ ጋር ምንድነው? s የተጠቀምናት s he, she እና it ላይ affirmative ሲሆን የምንጠቀማት s ኔጌቲቭ እና ኢንትሮጌቲቭ ላይ አትመጣም ትቀራለች ማለት ነው። does he think? does she think? does it think? ነው እንጂ ምንለው does she thinks? you don't say that. That's grammatically incorrect. We እና they, it's basically the same with I and you. So we're going to pass that. So now we're going to look at the uses of the simple present tense. ለምንድን ነው simple present tense የምንጠቀመው? The first one ቅድም አይተነዋል። daily actions በየቀኑ የምናደርጋቸው ሩቲን ነገሮች ሲሆኑ አሁን happen ባያደርጉም I brush my teeth, I go to school, you can say that. The second one is for general truths, for things that are true everywhere. በየቦታው true የሆኑ ነገሮች. For example, water freezes at 0 degrees. Water at 0 degree freeze የሚያደርገው general truth ነው አይደል? It's everywhere. Either it's in Ethiopia or somewhere else in the world, either it's now or in the future. Water ሁሌ 0 degree ላይ freeze ያደርጋል. It's something true, general, a fact. So we use the simple present tense for this. The earth revolves around the sun. Same thing. Earth around the sun revolves ማድረጓ it's something general. It's something generally true. So we use the simple present tense to express this. እዚህ ጋር እንደምታዩት freeze በዜድ ነው የሚያልቀው. So we add es. See? Revolve ግን we just add es. It's the regular verb, we just add s to. The next one, for instructions or directions. ትዕዛዝ ለመስጠት ወይም አቅጣጫ ለመጠቆም we can use the simple present tense. For example, open the packet and pour the contents into hot water. ይሄ ኢንስትራክሽን ነው የሚሰጠው አይደል? ፓኬቱን ከፍታችሁ ኮንቴንቱን in hot water ጨምሩት እያለን ነው። ስለዚህ እንደዚህ አይነት ኢንስትራክሽን ለመስጠት ለምሳሌ አዲስ እቃ ቤታችሁ ገዝታችሁ different components የእቃውን መገጣጠም ብትፈልጉ ኢንስትራክሽን ይኖረዋል አይደል? do this first, do this next, and then this ብሎ ይነግረናል። ስለዚህ ያንን የሚነግረን ሄዳችሁ ብታዩት it's the simple present tense. First do this and then do this. It's simple present ማለት ነው ኢንስትራክሽን ለማድረግ የሚጠቀምበት። Next with future constructions. ከስር የምታዩት ሴንቴንስ it's a future tense. Simply future tense ነው። But future tense ላይ as a construction simple present ይጠቅመን ይችላል። For example, she'll see you before she leaves. She will see you is something that's going to happen in the future. Before she leaves. ከመሄዷ በፊት የሚለውን ግን in the future happen የሚያደርግ ነገር ቢሆንም in the future construction ተጠቀምንበት። I think this will be clearer next የምናየው use ላይ I think it will be much clearer. For fixed arrangements. These are things that are going to happen in the future. Future ላይ ነው happen የሚያደርጉት ግን fixed ናቸው አይቀያየሩ። ስለማይቀያየሩ we're going to be using the simple present tense. For example, his mother arrives tomorrow. እናቱ ነገ ትመጣለች። የምትመጣው ነገ ነው። It's something that's going to happen in the future. But it's something fixed. Fixed የሆነ arrange የተደረገ ነገር ነው። ስለዚህ እሱን መሆኑን እርግጠኛ ስለሆነ we use the simple present tense. The next example is also explanatory. Our holiday starts on the 26th of March. 26th of March ገና ነው ግን always 26th of March holiday ነው እናከብረዋለን። ስለዚህ starts simple present tense እንጠቀማለን ማለት ነው። The next one is simple present use የምናደርገው in the passive form. Active እና passive sentence in future lessons የምናየው የራሱ ሰፊ የሆነ ክላስ የሚያስፈልገው ቢሆንም simple present ግን ለአክቲቭ እና ለፓሲቭ ቮይስ እንጠቀምበታለን። Just to describe ግን ሁለቱ ያላቸውን ልዩነት active voice ወይም active form ሲሆን we are focusing on the doer of the action. Action የሚያደርገው ሰው ላይ ፎከስ አድርገን አክሽኑን ዲስክራይብ የምናደርግበት ነው። ፓሲቭ ሲሆን ግን ድርጊቱ የሚቀበለው ላይ ፎከስ አድርገን የምንናገርበት ፎርም ነው። Let's see the example. We clean the rooms every day. በየቀኑ ሩሞቹን እናጸዳቸዋለን። ፎከሱ አሁን እዚህ ጋር we ነው። We are the ones cleaning the rooms. So it is an active sentence. And as you can see, we use the simple present tense. Simple present active የሆነው ደግሞ ወደ ፓሲቭ ሲቀየር as I said, we focus on the ones the action is being done on. So እዚህ ጋር አክሽኑ የሚደረግባቸው the rooms ናቸው, right? So the rooms becomes the subject and we say the rooms are cleaned every day. ቤቶቹ በየቀኑ ይጸዳሉ። እዚህ ጋር ሰብጀክቱ ራሱ የለም። በማን ነው የሚጸዳው ማን ነው የሚያጸዳው የሚለው ነገር አይነግረንም። It just tells us the rooms are being cleaned every single day. So ፎርሙን እንደምታዩት are cleaned ነው ግን ፓሲቭ ላይ ሲቀየር verb ፎርሙ ስለሚቀየር ነው። We would still say simple present in the passive form ነው የምንለው። ed ስላለው past አንልም። simple present in the passive form ነው። verb ፎርሙ ግን ይቀየራል ፓሲቭ ሲሆን ማለት ነው። So these are the uses we're going to cover today, but we have to be careful of one thing. That is simple present የምንጠቀመው for actions happening right now. አሁን ለሚፈጠሩ ነገሮች አይደለም የምንጠቀመው። For example, right now I am teaching. I don't use the simple present tense. I use the tense that we're going to see next, which is the present continuous tense. We don't use it to describe actions that are happening right now. So let's see some sentence constructions to see as an example. Positive sentences. Anita writes a book. As you can see, is ተጨምሮበታል። ለምንድን ነው is የጨመርነው? Anita is a she. She ስለሆነች አኒታ is መጨመር አለበት። Anita writes a book. ኔጌቲቭን እንየው። Anita doesn't write a book. Anita she ስለሆነች የምንጠቀመው helping verb does ይሆናል ማለት ነው። ከዛ በኋላ ግን is ጠፍታ write a book ብቻ ይሆናል። Interrogative formuን እንየው። Does Anita write a book? Interrogative ሲሆን ሁሌ helping verb ይቀድማል and then subject and then verb. Verb ግን as I said is አይጨመርበት። Let's look at the second example. Taj Mahal is situated in Agra. እዚህ ጋር situated የሚለው ያለበትን ቦታ it exists ማለት ነው እሺ it doesn't mean it's not a passive verb ሆኖ ገብቶ አይደለም it shows us that Taj Mahal exists ወይም ያለበት ቦታ in Agra ነው እዚህ ጋር verbaችን is not helping verb not state of being ግን የምትናገር ናት so Taj Mahal is situated in Agra Taj Mahal አግራ ውስጥ አለ እንደማለት ነው ይሄ helping verb አያስፈልገውም already is ስላለ ኔጌቲቭም ስናደርገው not ብቻ ነው የምንጨምረው Taj Mahal is not situated in Agra interrogative sentence ስናደርገው the helping verb comes first which is Taj Mahal situated in Agra that's what we do the last example is Stefan gets up at 6:30 a.m. every day Stefan ምንድነው he so get up አንልም ማለት ነው gets up we add s ኔጌቲቭም ሲሆን he ስለሆነ doesn't ነው የምንጠቀመው Stefan doesn't get up as you can see here ግን እዚህ ጋር s የለችው doesn't get up at 6:30 every day and the question does Stefan get up at 6:30 every day s አይጨመርም ማለት ነው now we're going to start recapping our lesson we're going to look at the main points the first one is just a reminder on simple present third person singulars that is he she and it third person singular ሲሆኑ እስካሁን ድረስ እንናገረው የነበረው ነገር ሁሌ ምን ይጨመራል ከሰብጀክት ከቨርቡ በኋላ s ወይም ደግሞ yes ይጨመራል ቨርቡ በy የሚያልቅ ከሆነ ቅድም አይተናል እዛ ሩሎቹ ላይ y ወደ i ተቀየረና yes ለምሳሌ fly becomes flies cry becomes cries exception ግን አለ የላስት ወርድ ዋይም ቢሆን ከዋይ በፊት ያለችው ግን ቫውል ከሆነች ለምሳሌ a is a vowel እዚህ ጋር ፕሬም ላይ a is a vowel የምንጨምረው s ብቻ ነው play becomes plays pray becomes prays s ብቻ ነው የሚጨመርበት ማለት ነው የመጨረሻው ቅድም ያየነው ነው ሪቫይዝ የምናደርገው s የምንጨምርባቸው በss x sh ch ሲያልቁ we add es he passes she catches he fixes it pushes as you can see all of them have es added onto them so we're going to finish our lesson by looking at the common mistakes now we're going to look at some common mistakes that we normally make when we're using the simple present tense the most important one is when we use the simple present and present continuous tense we tend to mix up those two ሁለቱን ያደባለቅናቸው we don't use both of them appropriately በትክክለኛው መንገድ እንጠቀመው so let's see some examples ይሄንን clarify ለማድረግ I live in India this is a simple present sentence I am living in India this is a present continuous sentence the first one I live in India ማለት እኔ ነዋሪነቴ የምኖረው ኢንዲያ ውስጥ ነው ለማለት ነው so where do you live when someone asks me that question I would say I live in India that's where I reside that's what it means but I am living in India ማለት I'm living there for a short period of time so when someone asks you የት ነው የምትኖሩት ተብላችሁ ብትጠየቁና I am living in India ብትሉ it doesn't mean you reside there እዛ permanently ትኖራላችሁ ማለት አይደለም I am living in India ማለት አሁን currently for a specific period of time ለአጭር ጊዜ ኢንዲያ ውስጥ እየኖርኩ ነው ግን permanently my home አይደለም ማለት ነው ስለዚህ we have to differentiate those two the second one is as we can see from the example I am coming from Malaysia እና I come from Malaysia I am coming from Malaysia ማለት ማሌዥያ ውስጥ ኖሬ እየመጣው ነው ሳይሆን for whatever reason ማሌዥያ ነበርኩ now I'm coming back ማለት ነው I come from Malaysia means that's where I live that's where I'm from የምገኝበት መኖሪያዬ ቦታ that's where it is I come from Malaysia I'm coming from Malaysia ግን it means I am coming there somewhere from Malaysia starting point ለዚህ journey Malaysia ነበር ማለት ነው ሌላው we need to make sure we know this when we're using the simple present tense we have said it again and again during this lesson but we have to make sure to know this too the first one is when the subject is singular and plural. As we said, when the subject is he, she, it, always we have to add an s or es to the verb. When the subject is I, you, they, we don't add anything. We just use the verb. We need to know that. The other one is when we are using negative and interrogative sentences. When we use this, we have to use the helping verbs do and does. We have to use these two. We have to make sure to use these helping verbs when we are making negative and interrogative sentences. We are finished with today's lesson. Now we're going to do some practice questions and finish. The first question, change it to its negative form. What a negative መቀየር ነው. Let me read you the question. The sun rises in the morning. The sun rises in the morning. How do we change this to its negative form? First, let's look at the subject. The sun rises in the morning. The sun. The sun is it, right? Subject is it. So when the subject is it, the verb adds s or es. So let's look at that. The verb is rise and it has added s. So to change it to negative, first we just need to know the helping verb. What is the helping verb? The verb that we are supposed to use. Is it does or do? For it, he, she, and it, the helping verb is does. That means the first choice is automatically incorrect because it uses the helping verb do. Let's look at the remaining choices. The sun doesn't rise in the morning and the sun doesn't rises in the morning. As we've been seeing so far, when we change the sentence to its negative form, we use the helping verb does. Helping verb እንጠቀማለን ግን is የምትለዋ ትጠፋለች ብለናል እስካሁን ድረስ። ስለዚህ ሲም አይሆንም። The correct answer is B ማለት ነው. Next question. We have to change the sentence to its interrogative form. ወደ question እንቀይረዋለን. I play cricket every day. The subject is I. The verb is play. So to change it to its interrogative form, first, let's think. What is the helping verb that we need to use? Is it do or does? I ሲሆን it's do. That means ሁለተኛው choice automatically incorrect ይሆናል ማለት ነው. Does I ስለማንል. And then choice A እና C ነው. Do I play cricket every day? Do I plays cricket every day? እዚህ ጋር ስህተቱ ምንድነው? የሶስተኛው ኤስ ጨምሯል. So የምንጠቀመው the first choice, do I play cricket every day? የሚለውን ይሆናል ማለት ነው. Third question. Where blank you go to the cinema? As you can see, ይሄ ጥያቄ ነው. ስለዚህ ጥያቄ ውስጥ የሚገባው helping verb የቱ ነው? ይሄንን ለማወቅ እስካሁን እንዳደረግነው መጀመሪያ subjectቱ ምንድነው? subjectቱን እንፈልግ. What is the subject? You is the subject. subjectቱ you ከሆነ እስካሁን እንዳልነው what is the helping verb that we use? Is it does, do, or doing? You ከሆነ helping verbaችን ምንድነው? Do. So we say, where do you go to the cinema? Where does you go? We don't say that. እዚህ ጋር ግን subjectቱ she ቢሆን ኖሮ where do she go? We don't say that. Where does she go ነው የምንለው እሱ ቢሆን ኖሮ. The fourth one. My mother blank liked to watch football. እዚህ ጋርም helping verb ነው የሚፈልገው. Like verbaችን ነው. So, what is the helping verb? My mother ምንድነው? subjectቱ she አይደል? she ሲሆን የምንጠቀመው helping verb ምን ይሆናል? doesn't. መልሱ doesn't ይሆናል ማለት ነው. The principal blank to speak to Raj. The principal blank to speak to Raj. እዚህ ጋር verb ነው የምንፈልገው. Principal could be he or she. ወንድም ሴትም ሊሆን ይችላል. ግን singular ነው, right? So, the verb we use ምን ይጨምራል ማለት ነው? S. The principal want አንልም. They ቢሆን ኖሮ want እንል ነበረ. Wanted is past. The principal wants would be the answer. This is it for today's lesson. Thank you for listening.